Peace and blessings to you always.
Welcome to the Chatterbox TV with yours truly, King Jacob, and we're back with another star-studded episode with a great talent. And let's welcome to Miss LaJoy to the stage. What's going on?
Hello, hello. Peace and blessings to everyone. Thank you for
How are
having
you?
me.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm
How are you?
good. I'm
Good, good.
good. I'm here.
Okay. So, before we get into your story, I always like to ask, ask the guests. So I'm gonna ask you, who is Miss LaJoy?
Mrs. Joy is a vocalist, a songwriter, a singer, a single mom, you know, a person of multi-talent. The Jane of all trades, but not a master of one per se. But,
Right. Okay, okay, okay.
yeah.
Great. So take us to how your music journey started.
Uh, mm, Professionally, I would say in 2004 after high school. But prior, that's something I've always wanted to do my entire life.
Okay,
I
okay.
could sing around the house.
So did you start in the church or school
No,
plays or
no, I'm genuinely kind of shocked. I'm getting out of that at almost 40. But just singing around the house. My mom, she used to sing, back in the day, and she's always played music. And I grew up listening to everything from R&B to new wave, oldies. So I just always been around music.
okay. So when did you understand that you had a gift? This is something that you want to do for the rest of your life.
Choir in high school. Like I've
Okay.
always sung, and people say things. It's like, oh, okay, you can sing, oh, okay, but it's not until you have really a cluster of a collective rather of other singers and ones that's giving you that compliment. It's like, oh, okay, I kind of got something. So that was the first time I was like, okay, this is something I really possibly want to do. So other
Okay.
than just a hobby.
Okay. So how is the support, you know, where you at right now? How's the music scene where you live at?
So that's the thing. I'm originally from Los Angeles, born and raised, and I'm now in Kansas City, Missouri. I'll be here 6 years in November. And from what I've noticed, this was like a major jazz R&B hub, especially like in the 18th and Vine district. So
Hmm.
I'm trying to migrate over there and just try to find work, but I know this was primarily like the big jazz scene in Kansas City. So
Okay. So what made you relocate from LA? City of Angels. You know what I mean? Like
right. That's the
so
question
that,
everybody asks. That's crazy. Yeah.
that's interesting.
Cost of living
I
and
know.
just life in general. I became a mom, and I was already, saying life was life for a long time for me.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then having a baby just added, to it. And at the time, the opportunity came to come down here, and it was a lot of different confirmations telling me that I should do so. And I,
Okay.
got here. I was with a job, so it was just different signs telling me go ahead and go and try something different.
Right. So you landed the opportunity, and that's why you took off.
It was the rent was too high in LA. At
Right.
the time back then, like I said, that was almost 6 years ago. A bachelor was like 1,500, 1,400. So I'm like, yeah, I need to go somewhere where I can survive with a child.
Okay. So Kansas City is a lot cheaper than LA, I assume.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. Cost of living is fluctuating, but yeah, it's
Okay.
livable.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
livable.
Okay, so as far as the vibe, as far as like the open mics, the music scene, and the live band setting, what is that like for you out there where you're at now?
I'm getting there. This is a journey. I'm not going to say, oh, I've been down there. This is just, like I know, I believe it's the Blue Room. That's supposed to be really popular. So I've done a lot of research on where to go. I just haven't got the chance to get there yet.
Okay, okay, okay. So you're just still getting your feet wet and still meeting people
Yeah,
and
starting over. This is a 11-year comeback from what I've previously done before.
hmm
And so, yeah,
okay, okay. So tell me about the very first time that you recorded your first single.
2013,
Okay,
maybe late 2012 into maybe 2013.
okay. And how was that? How was that? That mental capacity, that emotional space for you. You know what I mean? And tell me how was that, and tell me about the creation of the song. You know what I mean? Because it's always a backstory to a song. So tell me about all that.
Pretty much it's dealing with like relationships or the courtship of a possible relationship, and when you're in it for the time being, with the ups and downs of it, noticing the red flags or noticing that okay, they're attracted there, but what you gonna do after that, So yeah, that single was more than a most. That came out in 2014.
Okay, so when you um when you recorded the track and you went back and listened to it, what was your thoughts? You know what I mean? Is it what like, man, this is me, and now I get to hear myself on a record, or what was that adrenaline and that emotion like after you heard the track yourself?
I cried. It's some, especially certain parts. Like, you're gonna hear the rough mix at the time, but everything was mixed down. Or I didn't realize my layering was how it was. Like it's I'm still getting used to my voice. So let's go there. And then right now, even in the new stuff, I'm venturing more into rapping, which is something that people really didn't know I could do. So it's really different things. But back then, it was more just like, that's really how I sound. I didn't really know how I sound at the time, you know, recorded professionally,
Okay,
so it was a big difference. It was emotional. Like, this is
okay,
finally what I'm really trying to do. And, okay,
okay.
you
So
know.
did you showcase your single a lot? Did you get to go places and perform it a lot? Did it make people notice you where they wanted to invite you out?
Yeah, I was creating the buzz back then. I was, at my home, so I was doing a lot of open mics at the time.
Mhm.
Um, Shout out to Kenny Terry, that's my producer. Did the first album. People may know on the LAC and Rick Hard, shout out to him, but he does a lot of shows and open mics and promotions and things like that. So I started with him. Just whatever he would throw at me, I would just go show up because he already supported. So then I was also collaborating with a Hispanic rapper named Psych Dog, but that was pretty good. We had a single in the video, and yeah, we used to do shows with him, and it was pretty good. And then life happened, and I became a mom, and I had to kind of put everything on pause
Yeah, you kind of slow down a little bit.
a lot of it,
A lot. You said a
a
lot.
lot of it.
I can dig it. I can dig it, man. So, um, you you had an audition, what, 2014?
To audition
Yeah.
for American Idol.
Yes.
American Idol was 2004, and America's Got Talent was 2014.
Okay, so just tell me about both of those editions and the experience, and just tell me about that, because that's pretty exciting.
It is.
That's
It
on
is.
television, and you get to meet people from all walks of life as well. So
Yes, it's it's an adrenaline rush, like especially for the first time. But they go sad, they go sweet.
What up,
um,
Pete? What's going on?
yeah, yeah. So at the time, it's exciting because you see it on TV, and it's like, okay, this could be my big break and everything, and again, you can meet some beautiful people within the crowd that you're in, the line that you're in, you hear all the different people practicing. So it's a big energy, it's a big buzz, at those my auditions. But, I'm gonna keep it 100. It's something seeming a little, I would say, rigged, but a lot of things it's a program, it's a television program. It's kind of scripted, so a lot of the times it was some wonderful, talented people, way better than me, that didn't do nothing. That, what I'm saying, they didn't pass. I'm like, wow. So they had a category, a stereotype they were looking for. At the time back then, it was like, oh, we have a Jill, we have a Jennifer Hudson. Oh, okay. That's the yeah, kind of gist of it. And it didn't
So,
help
so,
that I sang Jill Scott at the audition, so it was just like, oh man, okay, yeah, it was one of those.
okay, okay. So that was
But
American Idol, right? That we speaking of, right?
like, yeah, American Idol, I went so far, I had to drop out because my mom was sick, and yeah, that went downhill really fast at the time. So I made it through the first round, the first pick, first group, second
Right,
group came through. I made it through there. I was able to meet, like, LaToya, and it was just a lot of different good people to meet at the time. And I was just going on a whim, seeing it inspired at Musicians Institute, where I was trying to go to after I went to after I graduated high school. So
okay,
it was
okay.
just on a
So,
whim.
okay, interesting. That's interesting. That you had that experience. A lot of artists don't. So kudos to you for sure, for
Thank
sure,
you for
for
that.
sure, for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I know you probably haven't thought about it like that, but yeah, kudos to you for that. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
You know, cause that's probably two of the biggest platforms in the world. You know, that's what we call on the main stage. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Yeah. So yeah, kudos to you for that. So
Thank
in
you.
your opinion, you know, what show is better overall?
Mm. 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 It's a catch 22 because American Idol, of course, is the father of this, the whole, it's the whole dynamic, is the originator. So you
Uh
can't
huh.
really, of course, with Simon and all that because it was
Yeah.
multiple hosts of, multiple judges went through there to see the other issues. But it's a
Yeah.
lot of
Simon is
inside stuff.
yeah. Simon is the character for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of inside things that goes on. It's kind of just already pre-done, a lot of times. But
But I must say, with the new judges, as far as Lionel Richie, Carrie Underwood and
mhm,
Luke Bryan, I must say they have a really good atmosphere. You know what I mean? Like
mhm,
a really, it's like a more of a peaceful atmosphere. You
right,
know, because Lionel is just a real peaceful. The guy, he old school.
laid
You
back.
know, he from Alabama. He from the country, and
Hmm.
you know what I mean. He just, even if they don't choose him, he still embrace him and uplift him. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
He,
So
you get that energy of an automatic shutdown from him.
right.
Or just a total judgment as soon as you step out on stage. I haven't opened my mouth yet, so you can already see the glares and so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a different vibe altogether.
Hmm.
Um, America's Got Talent, it was more upbeat, I would say, kind of more fun as far as the energy. It wasn't
Okay.
so strict. American Idol was kind of uniforms in a sense. How they
Yeah.
line you up, how they get you through there, how they, have the producers and the lines with you kind of taking things out after auditioning as well. A
Right.
lot of that is for blooper reel,
Okay.
so yeah, so you get to see a lot of the production, the behind the scenes when you're auditioning. It's like,
Right.
oh, this is for a real show. Like, oh,
Yeah,
okay. But
it was sort
it's
of
the
like
little things. Yeah.
it, yeah, it's kind of sort of like Idol the way it was lined up is sort of like auditioning for a military musical. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. Especially especially the old American Idol. So I definitely
Mhm.
understand. You know what I mean. So let's talk about your songwriting ability. What is your penmanship like? As far as what type of style you write? Do you have a more like a Motown style, more like a '90s R&B style, or just more like you kind of mesh and blend different styles together and write?
Sort of a blend of, you know, nostalgia with the '90s R&B. Neo Soul ain't dead, by the way. But
Mhm.
again, I'm picturing more into the rapping and all that. But I listened to like Public Enemy back in the day, and those
Fight
were
the power. That's right.
So I kind of be a little militant when I'm rapping.
Right.
You hear that side more so, but more so a mixture of storytelling and just personal experience.
Right. Right.
A little nostalgia vibe to it. Grown
Right.
folks music.
Okay. I want your opinion on something, and just from a artistic and a artistry standpoint of view. I'm gonna ask you two questions. So the first question is, how do you feel about R&B soul nowadays?
It's dwindling. It's dwindling. Like the lines are kind of blurred, and even with that specific genre, when you do it, it doesn't really get the proper push as you know another genre. You don't really have no one really doing that. We don't have the Joes and the like I mean, we can take different artists. There's so many, but you don't really hear that. The newer stuff is really good, but
I
it's
mean,
and
I,
again,
I
I'm
just
I'm just coming into this and trying to be comfortable in what I do. So, from what I've listened to and what's on my playlist, it's
I
it's
just I just I just think that like when I see an R&B artist that got on a t-shirt and jeans and a baseball cap, I'm like, whoa, this is what we do now? Because I'm used to seeing R&B artists with a suit and a tie. You know what I'm saying? Like an R&B artist, like you
aesthetic.
see Joe on stage, you see Maxwell on stage, those type of R&B artists. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Eric Benet and Eric Roberson and
A crooner. You have to croon. If that's
yeah,
what you're doing, you're singing, and you have to. It's an aesthetic, and that comes with me doing R&B and how I look now. I'm like, this is she was. I'm gonna keep running. I got to get out for work. I'm a school bus driver, and
right, right.
I initially thought that it was a phone interview. So she was like, "Oh no, you're gonna be on a podcast." I'm like, "Oh, I have to
Yeah,
now the
yeah,
term turn into so
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's an
yeah,
aesthetic,
yeah,
So
yeah, Mama.
definitely.
I do this for real, for sure, for sure. I want to know everything, as the ladies say, in the church chat. What's the tea, baby? You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
so I want to know the backstory, what you think about the industry, and all that, man, because that matters when you're interviewing an artist. That really matters. You know what I mean? So now the next question is, what do you feel about hip hop nowadays? And with you being a female that sings and rap, it's very interesting to know what you feel about hip hop.
It's It's becoming predictable.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I would love to hear things. I mean, of course, we're in 2025, so it's not going to go back to where it used to be back in the day. But I would love for it to go back to the energy of late 80s, early 90s. That I would say maybe like 88 to like 94. It was like the golden years where go ahead. That was a fun era. You had fun. It was dance. You can have everything was just so gangster, and if it was on a gangster, it seemed more genuine. You
You,
know,
you know,
but
I
again,
I tell people all the time that the genuineness of hip hop is really out the window, and people don't have a lot of cadence on the tracks anymore. Like hip hop used to be something that that uh, uh you can feel. You know what I'm saying? Like you like if on the female side, you felt Queen Latifah, you felt MC, like you felt Later Rage when she told you she rocked rough and tough with her Afro puffs. You know what I mean? You know she was
yeah.
coming through. You know what I'm saying? And you felt Mia when she told you that she was the biggest Mama Mia. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I just think that versus what we grew up listening to and really understand that those women could had real talent and they didn't really have to talk about um their bodies like that. They just had raw bars.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
And telling her how it is.
yeah.
Like, here you go. You know what I'm saying? And it was again storytelling. Like I said, when he was going into the physical, now that everything was just so sex, and body. I was like, well, I'm just finna make a big girl album because I ain't finna, kind of
Right.
game shown since the last, release or whatever. So I'm just gonna do it like that because I'm not gonna show it all and all that, but you know,
Right. So
everything, everybody got to be there.
that's right. That's right. So what do you want music executives and music curators and radio programmers and bloggers and magazine columnists and what do you want those type of people in the industry to know about you?
I'm a genuine artist that came from an era of development, like true artist development. And, being a single mom, like I said, life be life. And I'm just trying to do things differently this time, a bigger rollout, starting over, and trying to see where it goes. I'm just trying to be led to the right audience and if it is going to be mainstream, the right label, energetic wise,
Mm.
so because
Okay.
the industry can be kind of tricky, and that which was and let's go there. That was my wrestle with it. Only if I should even um, start doing music again because I was so green and naive 12, 15 years ago about the industry inside and out. And now, fast forward, I know a little more, and it's like made me kind of hesitant, but it's still a passion of mine. You know, so as far as like going to school, I can't think of nothing else to do other than music. Like,
Right.
so it's just, I don't know. It's just always been something I always wanted to do, and I want to try to, venture out and make it more than a hobby, and seeing like the proper feedback and seeing if it's to be something I'm supposed to do. To be
Okay.
like Mama,
Okay.
I made it.
Right. I can
So,
dig. I can dig it. And so, as an independent artist, why do you think it's so important for an independent artist to have management? Because because you have management and you have a dope manager. So why is it so
mhm.
important for an independent artist to have management? And when a independent artist, you know, has a chance to have a manager, you know, what is the guidelines for the manager in the arts relationship to stay a peaceful situation?
The main purpose of having a manager is it's wonderful to try to do it, and I put an emphasis on try to do it so that you want to get so far. Management, I believe, is strictly for navigation, get you where you're trying to go quicker.
Right.
And as far as the relationship goes, as long as there's communication, there really shouldn't be no issue. And
Hmm.
hopefully, being that you agree to be with that said manager, like Kentucky, but just in general, just if you just anybody else, that y'all would have a mutual understanding, a kindred spirit, one another. So y'all can know, hey, this is what you do, this is what you, this is your professionalism, this is like an offering, but we do it together and build. Let's see where this goes. I feel like it's supposed to be. It shouldn't be like, okay, well, I'm just pay me, but you're not getting anywhere in your career, or they only do so much.
Right, right. So, with that being said, how do you feel that the art form of music goes into community development?
The art form of music goes into community development
Yes.
is influential, definitely. Number one, it's like I said, like on the radio, it's in whatever's in rotation is what actually is in rotation in the atmosphere. Whatever you speak, whatever you hear, it goes in there. It goes got to be somewhere. You're gonna internalize that, even if you don't want to. So you got to be really, really careful about what you listen to and intake. So the biggest thing I could answer as far as that is the influence. You
Okay,
know,
okay. And
yeah.
now I've always thought that every artist should eventually own a nonprofit organization. And the
Hmm.
reason why I say that, because there's so many things the artists can do for the community, whether it's, you know, doing an autism awareness function, whether it's doing, you know, something for cancer, or something for diabetes, or whether you partner up with Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, or, you know, or whether you partner up with the National Mental Health Association. So it's always something that a artist could do for the community. And I think impacting, you know, an artist having a nonprofit organization, that's really gonna help the artist to do some of these big tours and partner up with some people, man, where you know you can at least get 25% of the proceeds back to your favorite charity, or even back to the Department of Education from your high school. So,
Hmm.
do you think it's important for every artist to eventually have their own nonprofit organization?
I believe so. And again, that I would say is influential. If you're doing something that's positive, you're gonna inspire someone else to follow suit.
Hmm.
To possibly want to build a team or do the same thing that you're doing as well. Like, if I was to do a nonprofit, it would be for like homelessness. Because I've dealt with that. So I
Right,
would definitely do something because it's the epidemic everywhere, pretty much. So but it's always, I think, a great idea to give back. Because in return, they're going to give back to you. Because it's going to be like, oh, you're really human. You know what I'm saying? You really care. I think that's
right.
always a great thing.
Okay, okay, it's dope. It's dope. So before we get ready to get out of here, let people know where they can find your music at, and if there's any big announcements that you have coming up that you want to share with us, please do so.
Alrighty. So I'm officially on all the platforms, on Spotify, Pandora, YouTube Music, Instagram, Facebook. I'm on everything now. And again, that's Miss LaJoy. You can Google Miss LaJoy. Everything will pop up. And again, the things that I just recently released on Spotify are my newer collections that I put out there. It's not per se an album, but it's more of like a collection just to put something out there from having such a big gap, and but yeah, as far as future projects, I'm still in negotiations with studios so I can record because right now I'm doing my own band lab, tinkering
Well,
around.
well, well,
So
well. I have a person out in um, Kansas City, Missouri. Miss Kimberly Young. Miss Kimberly Young has had a modeling agency for about 30 years, and she also run a lot of group homes out there. And so, but I'll connect with her, and I also connect with somebody you need to know out there, a Southern soul singer by the name of Shavonna Adams.
okay,
Listen, 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 listen.
okay.
She can definitely get you right. I definitely plug you in with her,
Thank you.
so she can introduce you to some nice studios and stuff like that out there. They got good quality, great engineers and things of that nature.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. No doubt, no doubt. But yeah, I wanna thank you for coming on Chatterbox TV and chopping up with yours truly, King Jacob. It's definitely been a pleasure to understand
Thank
who
you
you
for
are, to
inviting
understand
me.
your journey, and I just say, man, I'm just waiting for you to, be on TV again and give the world your joy, your peace, your love, your commitment for this music thing, and man, just keep on reaching for the stars.
I appreciate it. Thank you. That was a blessing.
No
That was a
doubt.
blessing. Thank you. Good. I'm trying. I'm doing this again. I'm trying to get crying out of my vocabulary because I'm doing it again.
Right.
And yeah, you want to so thank you for the
All,
insight.
all right. So I would definitely get that info over to your management, and she can relay it to you.
Right on. Thank you.
All right. Peace and blessings. Have a great night.
You as well. Mhm. Thank you.